Before we get started, I do want to point out the disclaimers for Healy in the United States. You could pause and read all of this if you like, but I will just read the beginning part. Healy is a microcurrent medical device that has been cleared by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for relief of acute, chronic, and arthritis pain and muscle soreness due to overexertion. Healy also has non medical applications that use individualized frequencies to help balance your mind and body and relieve stress. So I just want to point out as you hear any testimonials or people saying that the Healy helped them in different areas, that these are not medical claims. These are their own personal experiences, and we believe that rather than the Healy is curing anything, that it is supporting the body, and by boosting frequencies and being resonant with different frequencies in the body, that it is able to help the body do its natural healing that it is designed to do. We're doing our Healy overview presentation with Dr. Corrine Allen and myself, David Pritchard, and Michael Martin as well. Dr. Allen has a lot of good background in using energy medicine and holistic medicine, alternative medicine. She's been our go-to person that we call when we ever have any health questions for now 30 years that I've known Dr. Allen or more. So when she called me in May and told me about the Healy, I could just hear the passion in her voice. She was so excited about the Healy and what it can do. And so you're going to hear some of that from her tonight. She'll explain what's going on. And then I'll be able to share and actually show you how you run a program with the Healy, how you use it with pairing it with your smartphone and running the apps. It's really neat. And then we'll show you even how you can purchase one. We'll have some testimonials and you'll have some time to ask questions. So with that, Dr. Allen, why don't you take it away?
Okay, welcome everybody. It's very exciting to share this every week with you, and it never gets boring because the things that are happening with quantum medicine and quantum equipment like this is just absolutely incredible. My background is in natural health. I have a degree in nutrition and have worked in the field for about 40 years and have training, mega training beyond and around. I've traveled all over the world, and a lot of my training came from Germany, where I studied energy medicine, and some of it was over there, some of it they came here and trained us. So when I heard about this from my friend Michael Martin, my ears just about hit the ceiling because it was just so up my alley, and I'm always looking for something that is cutting edge. And I know that the technology today is moving very quickly, and it's just on record speed of what's coming out. And I had not heard of anything like this. I have many pieces of a microcurrent and frequency equipment. We use about 15 different types of light, sound, motion, frequencies, lasers in our brain center, and we get miracles. I mean, we've grown parts of the brain, and we've had optic nerve regeneration. We've had absolute miracles happen. So I know that these frequencies are very, very, very powerful, but I'm always looking for something that's more succinct and that's easier to use and that's duplicatable. In other words, when people go home, whether they come into my office and have a regular appointment, or we do long distance appointments, or if they come to the brain camps and they have, they're healing there, but they still need more. There's a big gap in this alternative field for getting the the therapies into the home where people can follow up with a budget constraints or with physical constraints or whatever. And this was like ticking all the boxes because Nuno Nina is one of the practitioners in Portugal, has 6 clinics, and he worked with the mother machine called the Time Waver for many years. It's been out 10 years. And he saw how this could be so much more effective if the patients had something to take home and continue it. Because, most people will see a doctor once a week, once, every 6 weeks, 6 months, and it takes years to get well. Well, I will tell you, and I put this little device absolutely to the test. Okay, so if we can hit these frequencies into the body and the energy field, I'm seeing eyes, optic nerves repaired. I'm seeing that inflammation in the eye, the pressure in the eye repaired in 10 days. I've seen post-traumatic stress, severe, and addictions from the military gone and greatly repaired in 10 days. I've seen ovarian cysts gone in 10 days. I've seen after effects of malaria. These are all pretty serious problems. And in our other ways of dealing with it, with homeopathics and with energy equipment, which somebody doesn't have access to in their own home, it takes months to get through these things. And I'll tell you, thousands more dollars. And anybody that's ever gone to a natural health practitioner knows they're going to walk away with a big bill, because this stuff is not inexpensive. Because what we have to do is we have to build up the frequency in the body. We have to have high frequency supplements, and then we have to have energy, like homeopathics or types of energy machines to change the body. Years and years ago, I began to see, well, nutrition is great and diets are great and supplements are fantastic. And, the doctor that I started out with, very famous doctor, he was doing some very, very progressive things for cancer. I didn't have cancer, but I went to him because he knew his stuff. But I walked away with 30 pills, 30, 40 pills a day. And that was it. No diet, just the pills. Well, you get sick of those pills. And I got a level of healing, which you do, but I didn't get enough. And I began to realize that there's a whole lot more out there. Well, he was coming from the AMA perspective, and he was doing a great job with what he knew and what he was doing, and he was helping a lot of people. But I began to move more and more into the energy field and seeing that, hey, there was a lot more here that I was missing out on. So that field began to open up to me about 40 years ago when I was really pretty sick. And I would just pray and say, okay, God, what's the next thing I need to learn? What's the next thing? I learned diet, I learned colonics, I learned herbs, I learned, all kinds of different electroacupuncture. I learned biofeedback. I learned lasers. I learned, energy techniques to help the body heal. Many, 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 many things. I call them my bag of tricks. And oftentimes I still have to bring them out. So none of it's been wasted because it's all still in there. So when, as I move on in my career and in my life, I don't want to be seeing patients. I used to see 20 patients a day or clients a day, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to have that many people and plus getting well. And this little microcurrent frequency device gives us the ability. We've now got thousands out there that are using this just because you and I have told somebody. And that's really rewarding to me. So what we spend our time with now is working with more of the difficult cases and spending the time training you so that you can learn what to do. But this device is so safe and it's so easy to use that pretty much anybody can use it. And I'll tell you this, people in my age group, 50, 60, 70, 80, some of them are pretty challenged with computers, cell phones and such, and even those are having a great time with this and finding that it's not that difficult. When Michael said this was a currency device, a microcurrency that was cleared by the FDA for pain, acute and chronic pain and arthritic pain and muscle soreness due to exertion, my ears perked up because just a year and a half ago, I was working on my ranch and I was moving around on the ATV and taking it up for putting away at night. I think I must have passed out or something because next thing I knew, I wasn't even moving and I was 50 feet away, turned upside down under it. And there I was bleeding to death and no cell service, nobody around. But God was gracious. And as I was laying there, I came out of being passed out for 2 hours or so. And then I was just pinned for another 3 hours. And near the end of that time, my phone finally connected for about 10, 15 seconds. Got to 911. They came and got me and took me and had a helicopter waiting, took me to emergency surgery and saved my life. But it took a year of getting well after that because it was such a severe injury. And I learned for the first time in my life, I've been in pain from falling on my back and my tailbone and Never pain like the pain of that. Everywhere there was pain. And thank God I had some tools that we use in the brain camp that I used with my clients that I took a lot of, certain supplements and certain things that I did, and a certain kind of water. And I was able to get rid of the pain in 3 months. And the doctors were amazed. They'd go in my visits, "Are you out of pain?" And go, "Yeah." But you know what? Most people that I meet aren't out of pain from these kind of accidents and aren't out of pain from what's going on in their lives. And they're living with this pain day in and day out. So when I heard this little device was for pain, I said, wonder what we could do with that. So when I got mine, I had people come in, and I had people come and send their friends in who had chronic pain. And we saw them come in with, one guy fell off a ladder and fell down the stairs. And he had such bad pain. He came in, he could hardly even get there. I don't know how he got there, but he came, he was on a walker. He could barely move. He just groaned and moaned the whole time. On his third visit, he was up and around. There was no more walker. And I realized it was the same guy because I had so many people coming. I didn't really connect all the faces. And it was like, I said, "Oh my goodness, what happened to you?" He said, "Well, the Healy." And then I had another gal come in who had really her life on hold because she had an accident about 30 years ago, a car accident of some kind. And she was in constant pain, daily pain. And when you're in this kind of pain, you usually give up and go to meds, and those meds wreck your liver, wreck your kidneys, wreck your brain. But she wouldn't do that. So what she did, she was spending all her money on massage, chiropractic, supplements, lasers. Everything in her life was focused around every day getting through it without having to use painkillers. That's no life. That's torture. And I know that there are people that you know and that I know that are still doing that. And it's torture. And we have seen about 5 visits later, that gal was like her life came back, and she's not in chronic pain anymore. And now she's pursuing her career in real estate. And she's able to get up and go to work. And if she has pain, she can use the Healy for its, you know, effect that day. But it's not just a placebo effect. And it's not just a temporary effect because it's building upon getting it better and better. And when we first got this in May, I still had a pretty raw nervous system. And so I used a lot of the nerve programs. My goodness, do they work? They are just going in there, and we'll explain in a minute how that works. So it's been absolutely exciting. We've had people with tooth problems, and it will actually tell you what your problem is. And they go, "Wow, it came up tooth." And you know what I do? I've been having pain here. And so they run that pain program for the tooth, and it helps the body to deal with that pain. I've had people with migraines. A lot of times people with migraines just, they just kind of space out and they can't go to work. They can't do anything because their pain can be so bad. And this has pain programs for that. Now, in Europe, one of the things that happens is they're able to say a few more things about the energy medicine than we are. Like they'll say, well, things like anxiety and depression, this little thing that we have with this energy frequency works on that. Well, we call it stress, and we call it relieving stress in the mind and the body. But literally, I am absolutely amazed at how many people are on anxiety meds, meds for not sitting still, the hyperness, meds for just not sleeping, meds for stress. And in this little frequency device, I'll pull mine over here and show you this little device. This little tiny device has the frequencies to balance your body and to balance your sleep. It has things like extreme stress. One day I was having, or a week, I say I was having trouble sleeping, and I don't normally have trouble sleeping, but my sleep cycle had gotten off. And I got, this has to stop. I don't want to go with this. So I tested myself on the Healy through the cell phone. This is where you do the analyzing. And I said, what's the cause behind my sleep? And it came up extreme stress. And I go, well, I better listen to this. I don't feel stressed, but I have a lot of balls that I juggle and a lot of things that I do. And I work long hours. Well, that's hard on the body. And if you push the body past, 11, 12 at night, that pushes you into a hyper mode in your cortisol. And I was doing that, not late, but too late enough for me. And so I did that and kind of reset the clock again. It was wonderful. Well, people that have chronic sleep problems, this is a blessing for them, because that's probably one of the number one problems that people suffer with, is correct and and wonderful sleep. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more wonderful and refreshing than to get up in the morning, be alive and be awake. And if you're not, you don't need that cup of coffee. You just take your little device, your quantum device, and you go, what do I need for energy? Zzz, and you zap yourself, beam me up, Scotty, and you give all that energy to you, and you get going in the day. And if you've got a drop in the afternoon, you can do another one. This is like, I'll say magic, because it is, because we can't see it. And it's got lots of science behind it. It isn't anything that's not scientifically verified. The owner of the company is a very astute quantum physicist. He has engineers and scientists who took that main quantum technology that they have, that's about a $20,000, $30,000 device only for practitioners, and they figured out how to do this for people. It's about in 42 countries. So people all over the world are experiencing this. I've got people in the Philippines, I've got people in Spain, I've got people in Canada that are using this, and they are seeing wonderful things happen. So if we take our normal world and we look at, well, what's the difference between allopathic and energy medicine? Well, actually, electromagnetics and energy medicine is very, very, very old. It's actually one of the original things that was really on the planet. You know, essential oils are in the energy field. You've got hands-on healing. You've got prayer. All of this are in the energy field. But today's science uses a lot of energy medicine. They use PET scans. They use CT scans. They use MRIs. They use electroencephalograms, electromyograms. And we don't even think about that as being energy medicine. We just line up, get them put on us, and get the results. But they are frequencies that are telling what's going on in the body. So what we do in the alternative is electroacupuncture, acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, and lasers, and biofeedback, and many, many, many types of equipment. And I will tell you that really the best ones are coming from Germany. So we have a state-of-the-art wearable technology. See, it's got a little clip on it, and you can put it here. You can also hook it to a lanyard and just drop it on you. You can stick it in your pocket. You can wear this in the car. You can wear it while you're cooking. You can wear it while you're working. You can do anything with it. It's just amazing. It's got the highest standards. It's a phenomenal scientific based healing modality. And it doesn't do any healing. It just gives your body the frequencies so your body can heal itself. And when it's developed by 2,000 practitioners, I'll tell you that when I take, and I've been doing what I do for so long, somebody calls up and said, I have a head problem, or I have a heart problem, or I have a kidney problem. I go, well, I know the protocol, here's what we do. And you learn as practitioners, what are the things that have a reputation of working and kind of being those frequencies that are off. Well, that's what they've done. They've taken those frequencies from these 500,000 patients that they use the Healy device or the time waver on, and they developed these programs. So we have 134 programs. I always get the numbers mixed up, and then we have more programs than that in the menu that we can choose from. There's 144,000 frequencies that it's mixing, matching, and putting them together for various things. And you have a program when, let's say, I did one today on hormones, because that came up. So I thought, okay, hormones. There's about 400 frequencies that are pulled down from the cloud through your cell phone, sent to the Healy. And then this little thing reads me real time. And it says, well, you don't need half of those. You only need 10 of these frequencies. So then it starts blinking on this side, and it starts sending me those frequencies for about an hour. And then it has a little meter. David's going to show you this, and tells me how good I'm doing. Am I still in the negative? Am I in the positive? And then it keeps building, building, building. Well, when that's building, what it's doing is taking my cells that have to do with estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, thyroid, thyromin, whatever, and it's building the resonance so that the holes, or the battery that's gone low in my cellular areas of the hormones, is building it up. And so it's balancing it. So see, everything around the cell is electricity. The electricity is the charge that keeps you going. And when that charge starts depleting, it depletes because of toxic metals or injury, genetics, GMO foods, pesticides, chemicals, viruses, vaccines, um, all of these things interfere in that cellular wall, and some of them get inside the cell, some of them stay in the fluids around the cells, and it interferes with the ability of the cell to work. And I have told people over and over and over again, health first starts in the energy field. It does not start in a pill or in the physical cell. It's first the energy. Well, that's why your thoughts are so important. And guess what? Healy has all these programs for your stinking thinking. And I love it because I have really, really, really been working on myself and highly aware of, like, get rid of all the negative stinking thinking. And we teach that, and I'm going to be teaching more because it really interacts with the quantum, how you think. So they have mental balance in there. So I'm often saying, if your mate, your husband or your wife has, bad attitude, run mental balance on them, run the emotional programs on them. There's so many things that you can do instead of complaining, and instead of hoping that they change. You can actually facilitate in a very gentle and a very positive way with frequencies to help them change. And it's quite amazing how it does that. So each cell is a little power plant. It constantly is producing energy. And if that energy gets too low, then your battery dies. Now, when the battery's totally dead, you're dead. And the worse you are in energy, the worse you are in your negative thinking. Literally, it's just batteries dying. And if they're not charged, you can't accomplish the tasks that you need to be. And, I know a lot of you that have Heelys now. I hope you're thinking about who you need to help. It's a gift to them to help their mental attitude, because right now there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and a lot of bad decisions being made, and being made for fear. And we don't need to operate in that. There's a lot of emotional programs in here. I don't know if you know, some of you do, if you're into alternative health, that there are emotional programs called flower remedies. And there's one group called the Bach remedies. And it was a doctor, he was a regular allopathic doctor, and he moved into more of the holistic and did it now. He did plants and found that he diluted the frequencies, and it was just the energy of it. And he treated things even like cancer with those. And people just flocked to him. Well, all those frequencies are in our Healy. Then we have other flower remedies. Then we have gem remedies. And each of these affects us at deeper and deeper levels in our being. So when you clean up your atmosphere, which, if you're not used to those terms, if you have stinking thinking and you're always about, you got to be having it proven, you're operating on a very low level. When you start to be able to understand that there's more in this world, because it's in the energy and the frequencies of how things function, then you move in your dimensions in how you can function. And the more clear you are, I, as a Christian, look to move higher to be able to have more communication with God. And it works at whatever you are, you get more communication of your spirit with the God of the universe. So this is actually one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen. It doesn't just work on your body health, it works on your pain. I don't have any instruments in my repertoire that do what this does for pain, and do what this does for people on a daily basis. And people are so excited. We're going to hear from some of them in a minute. They're so excited to use this that they want to use it 3 and 4 times a day. And we recommend that. But we also tell you how to do that so that you don't overload, because, if you overload your battery, you can, kind of need it to rest a little while. So we don't want to do that. But oh my goodness, when you get this coming into you, your mental states change, your emotions change, your energy changes, your health changes. And, you know, Michael, I'd like you just to tell how your health has changed because we have a lot of new people on here tonight. You had some pretty severe health issues to start with, and just give us a quick rundown of how this Healy has changed your life. And Michael, everybody, he's the one that has been responsible for every one of you being on this call. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. I had, until I was 70 years old, I was in perfect health. And then I got cancer. And I took care of it through alternative medicine. And a year later, I got it again. And when I did it the first time, I had a problem with too much calcium in my system. And it caused my kidney to start failing. So the second time I had to go through chemo. And during that process, I went through stage 4, stage 5 kidney failure. I lost 80 pounds. I'm 6'1". I was down to 112 pounds. And I was on the verge of dying. And I got the Healy, and my kidney function has improved. My neuropathy has improved. And obviously my looks have improved. Anyhow,
the humor is still there. Good deal.
The humor's still there. If you see the difference between when I'm not on live and what I used to look like, which is significant. But for those who have been with this program from the beginning, when you saw Michael on the line, he looked like death formed over. And you have seen the daily improvement in my life to the point where I am now. And I was on the verge of dying. I'm not there now. I am still working on all the issues, but the Healy has saved my life.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
All right, David, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you find more of these wonderful testimonies and just get us rolling on how this little thing works and show us a demonstration.
All right, that sounds good. I'm going to share, I'm going to start right with the phone screen and show how the Healy works first. So I'm sharing my phone screen right up here. So you can see, because we run the Healy from our phone. Now, if you can still see me as well, I have the Healy just clipped to me like Dr. Allen was showing. And I would turn it on. And then I go into, we have two different apps we can use. I'm going to first just show something over here on the left side, the microcurrent app. This is where we would hook up the wires to the Healy. And then they're either hooked to wrist electrodes, like you see me wearing here on each wrist, or an adhesive electrode. Like if you're doing a pain program on your shoulder, you put it on either side of your shoulder and you do the pain. But this is for most other things, is the wrist electrodes. So I wanted to first show you that there's all these different programs in groups. So there's the Gold Cycle groups that were developed by that Portuguese practitioner that Dr. Allen was talking about. Oops. And Nuno Nina. Just going to open it up again here. All right, so we have all the Gold Cycle programs. We have programs for pain, different types of pain, learning programs. You can see concentration, stress, all sorts of things. Fitness programs. There's programs for your job and for better sleep. There's programs for mental balance, contentment, feeling good, inner strength, all those types of things. Beauty and skin. Bioenergetic Balance 1 and a whole separate page, Bioenergetic Balance 2. You can see all the different organ functions that's working there, and then 2 pages worth of meridians. And then we have chakra programs, protection programs, deep cycle programs is like a deep detox. And then there's a program here they made back in March for the pandemic that's more of an immune system boost, just to help us keep our immune system in good shape. So you can see there's a lot of different programs there. So now before I actually run a program to show you that, I want to show you the other app. This is called the Resonance, where if you have the Resonance edition of the Healy, which I'll explain the different editions in a minute, you have access to this app. And this is where you can do a lot of cool stuff like performing scans on you or other people. You can set people up as actual clients in this database here, a client database. And I'm just going to show you, you can see that you can do an aura analysis as well, but I'm going to do the resonance analysis. And you choose me as the client and go to the database. And you'll see from here on down, Gold Cycle, Pain, Learning, Fitness. These are all those program groupings that I just showed you in the other application. Okay, so I can go all Healy, do an analysis, and it's going to scan. It's scanning my bioenergetic field right now to see what I'm most resonant with, what programs are most, or what frequencies am I needing the most. And it says 84%, that's really high, that I'm really needing stuff from the Gold Cycle set of programs right now. So typically what I would then do is go resonance analysis again, go back into the database and click on Gold. You see there's 7 programs in the Gold Cycle, and it's going to give me the top 5 programs in order of how much I need them right here. Care, and then Relax, Energy, Balance, and Pure. Okay, so I can do a couple things. I can go Actions, Vibrate, and I can send, I can choose how long I want to send this. Normally I do a minute or 2 or 5 or 26, who knows. But I'm just going to do it for like 17 seconds so you can see what's happening here. So right now it's not using the wires. This is just used from the Healy. It's sending vibrational frequency information into my bioenergetic field to balance the energy with these different types of programs. And when you see the 2 squiggly lines there, one is it's sending information and one was it reading information from me and deciding what frequencies I need the most right there. So then typically I would just go into the other program and run that care program. But I do want to show you one other thing that's really neat about the resonance and why it's worth getting this edition if you can. These top 7 categories here are only in the resonance edition. You have Bach flower remedies. Materia Medica is homeopathic remedies, if you're familiar with that. And I really like the Schussler salts. So a lot of times we show the Bach flower remedies because Dr. Allen is giving us a lot of training on that. But you know what? Just for fun today, I'm going to go to the Schussler salts. I'll do start analysis. And this is now scanning me to see of these, I think I said like 27 different Schussler salt remedies that there are, which ones are the most important for me. It'll give me the top 5. And I'll be able to read about them and see what these all do for me. And then it's going to send, I can send the frequency information from these remedies or these salts into my field and balance that energy. And that's going to have an effect on me internally as well. So you can see this tells which ones and what its strengths. This is the respiratory tract, and this one supports a low-calorie diet or detoxifying in your liver and your gallbladder, protein metabolism in your brain, sensory sensitivity. So you can see all the stuff that it can do. So it shows me the top 5 there, and then again I can go actions, vibrate, and I would typically choose longer. But I just to show you real quick, just do it for a short period of time that it's both reading me and sending information into my field. And because there's a lot of different frequencies that come with each of these remedies, but it's deciding which ones are most important to balance all that energy. Because as we're all learning that everything is energy, right? So now that was good. So what did it show? See, we can go back and look at lists. I have lists here and I can see in that Gold Cycle that I did a minute ago, okay, number 1 program was care. So that's when I would go back to the other application, turn my Healy back on again when I switch apps, and I'll run the care program. So in this app is where we're actually using the wrist electrodes in this case, or the adhesive ones, and there's care. It's already loaded up. If it weren't, I would just go find it. You'd have this list of all the apps. I go to Gold Cycle and then care, and I'd hit start. And normally it would send the frequencies over to the Healy by Bluetooth, and you see a little progress line going across, and it would take maybe 20 seconds or so. But this would happen to be the last program I ran earlier today. It's saying I need this one again still. So it's going to go for 46 minutes. And because I'm wearing this and these electrodes, I can do whatever. I can be watching TV. I can go out in the garden, do whatever you want. driving, at work. I'm a piano technician too. I wear this all the time while I'm tuning somebody's piano. So you can do whatever you want. And if you're really worried about these wires, you can run them through your sleeves too. I do that quite a bit. So you see that it's showing that I'm getting right now 344.7 hertz. There are literally hundreds of frequencies in this care program, maybe even 400. And it's reading me right now. It's reading my bioenergetic field to see which ones of those frequencies I need the most. And then as it's providing those frequencies right now, it's sending that information into my field and at the cellular level. Because look what happens. Right now, I've got the two wrists and the frequencies are going through me. I'm the conductor. If I unplug one of these, you'll see that line goes black on the screen. That means that there's not good conductivity right now. So I want to plug that back in, obviously, and it'll go back white. So you want to see that white line. Sometimes if it's black, you might have really dry skin, so it can't conduct as well, and you just moisten the skin a little bit. Or you could have interference in your own body, a lot of toxins and stuff. And you can see I can actually adjust the intensity here. But I can actually feel that when I'm up at about 80%, I can feel a little bit of just energy in my hands. I feel that tingling there. So that's basically how we run the programs. And you can choose, Healy will say to do anywhere from 3 or 4 programs at the most per day. Now imagine if you were to go to an energy practitioner of some kind, a holistic doctor that has energy machines and stuff. They may charge you $50 or $100 or even more just to do one program. And here you own it, and you can do 3 or 4 programs a day, not only on you, but on your whole family and people you know, and even your animals and your pets. We've had great testimonials with using this with pets and animals. It's been really awesome. So I'm going to stop sharing that and go back to sharing my computer screen so I can show you a little bit more about what the Healy is and what these different additions are. So let me start this. So as you can see here, the Healy is FDA cleared for pain relief. And then these are lists of all those programs that I showed you in that application that I'm running right now. Here's that Gold Cycle Care, and you can read about what that's for. And then here's a whole bunch more of those programs. Hey, I'm interrupting here to let you know that I've edited out the next section of this presentation because in July of 2021, Healy did some changes to their pricing structure and kind of the whole business model of how Healy works. So this next 9 minutes or so will be the new information, and then it'll go right back into the rest of the presentation where you can hear the remaining testimonials and questions that people had. Thanks. Here are the Healy editions and pricing. There are 5 editions of the Healy at 5 different price points, and the hardware is the same for every edition. You can see here that you get the Healy itself, some connection cables, bracelet electrodes, adhesive electrodes, a charging cable, and so you can actually start at a lower edition and upgrade to a higher one at a later time if you need to, without having to get new hardware. These are all the different Healy program groups and app modules that are available that you can run on your Healy. Now, the different editions will already come with some of these as permanent parts of what you get with the edition. But then you can always add any of these as a monthly subscription, so you have access to any and all of these if you want. And you can see that the Gold Cycle, Bioenergetic Support, Chronic Pain, and the Healovisor Search module come free with every edition. The Healovisor Search module is really cool because you can type in any disease or condition or symptom or issue that you are having, and it will return from our therapist database the programs that you can run that are best to help with that issue. So it's really, really cool, and it's free with every edition. The first edition is called Healy Gold. It's priced at $506 plus tax, and it includes the Healy Gold Cycle Program Group, which is the very popular group developed by Nuno Nina out of Portugal. It has the Bioenergetic Support Program Group, which is Coherence and Bioenergetic Boost, and it has a program for chronic pain, which is very important. And then, of course, it has the Healovisor Search module that I already spoke about. 10 microcurrent programs in that edition. The next edition is called Healy Holistic, and it is priced at $1,015 plus tax. It includes everything that you already saw in the Gold edition, but now we've added the Mental Balance Program Group, which is 8 programs, and Meridians 1 and 2 program groups, which has 20 more programs. So now you're getting programs that cover every area, such as physical, mental, emotional, lots of different stuff. And there's 38 different microcurrent programs total in this group. The next edition is called Healy Aura. It's priced at $1,525 plus tax. In this edition, we've added the Aura module where the Healy can scan your bioenergetic field for your aura, and it can show you the 7 chakras and which ones are lowest in energy. These are those energy centers in your body that are linked to the endocrine system. And you can add energy to the chakras that are lowest and balance the chakras. The next edition is called Healy Resonance, and it is by far our most popular edition because it's adding the resonance module. So you can see it's priced at $2,025.50. This is the module where you're able to scan your bioenergetic field to see which of all the microcurrent programs are most important for you right now. And it can do all the vibrational frequencies with homeopathics and Bach flower remedies, and actually a lot of other categories, even things like Schussler salts. There's just so much you can do with the resonance module. It's really a huge, huge, huge value. And again, you have this to use on you and your whole family and other people you care about all you want. And then we have the Healy Professional, which is priced at $5,055, and it's actually quite a good value because you're getting almost everything that Healy offers. Not everything, but almost all the program groups and app modules. So there's 207 microcurrent programs, and this might be the best option for a therapist or a practitioner who is using the Healy or demonstrating the Healy for their clients. So here are all 5 editions where you're seeing the price of each edition, what comes automatically with each edition, and it's important to point out that there is a 14-day money-back guarantee from the day you receive your Healy. So you can try it out. If for some reason you would decide to return that, which is extremely rare, you would get all of your money back. Now you can see that these 3 middle editions have this +3 by it. That is indicating that Healy has created a subscription bundle for each of these editions where you get to try out these subscriptions for 3 months for free. The subscription bundles are free for 3 months, and then starting in the 4th month, they will renew at a 40% discount compared to if you had purchased these separately. So for instance, in the holistic level, you're getting fitness, bioenergetic harmony 1 and 2. That's adding 32 more programs to the 38 that were already included with that edition permanently. And so now you have a total of 70 programs. These 32 programs will renew at $48.50 a month, but you could always cancel that at any time. You can even build your own subscription bundles if you choose later on, or maybe you decide you want to try some other ones and then create kind of your own favorite bundle. That is fine to do as well. So the one at the Aura level, it's adding the local stimulation, which is all the rest of the pain programs. Now, every edition comes with chronic pain. That's where you can use the adhesive electrodes. For instance, if you have knee pain, you'd put an electrode on either side of your knee and you would run the chronic pain program. But there's actually a bunch more pain programs for everything like tooth and jaw pain, migraine pain, even anxiety and depression and insomnia. There's a whole bunch of things in that category. And then there's also the sleep programs. Now, these are 2 of the most popular groupings of programs because people see really good results both with pain and sleep with the Healy. Remember, the Healy itself is actually FDA cleared for pain. So in this subscription bundle group, you're getting 82 total programs because you have the 38 that come with it, 44 more here, 5 subscriptions. That would renew at $79 a month starting in the 4th month. The ever popular Resonance will come with 8 program groups. Now you're jumping all the way up to where you have 38 plus 72 programs. Total of 110 programs you can use. And again, these are all free for 3 months. It would renew at $121.50 per month. Now that actually is still a very good value for having 110 different programs that you can run every day for you, your whole family, other people that you care about, day after day after day. So this really is a huge value when you truly understand what the Healy can do. Then we have a couple other products that may interest you. One is called the Healy Coil. It's actually a Tesla coil. You can see the coil right here. And these just plug in right where the wires go on the Healy. It kind of slides in on the back of the Healy under the clip. So this is what it looks like from the front when you have the coil on. And this allows you to run the microcurrent frequency programs without wires. It's not a complete substitution for the wires. It's just another way of providing the microcurrent frequencies. And while Healy says to only run 3 or 4 microcurrent frequency programs per day using the wires and putting several hours of rest between each application, with the coil, you can run as many programs as you want because it is a little more subtle way of providing the frequencies. So if you're going out and about and you don't want the wires hanging off the Healy and the wrist electrodes on, you can just plug in the coil, start a program, stick it in your pocket, and go about your day. And then we have the Healy Watch, which measures your bioenergetic status through bioenergetic rhythm analysis, heart rate variability, and your sleep patterns, and of course tracks things like your steps as well. And then it uses all that bioresonance data to find frequencies that help you relax, reduce stress, and support your fitness goals. So the watch can actually suggest which Healy frequency programs you should run based on all that data that it has been collecting. Now, I know you may be looking at Healy simply as a product that can help you and your family, but there's optionally the opportunity to become a Healy World member and be part of something truly incredible. You can build a business promoting this incredible, unique technology. See, this is a unicorn product. There's nothing like this anywhere where you can take a very small wearable device that's paired with your smartphone or tablet and then scan your bioenergetic field and then provide the remedy or provide the frequencies that you need the most right now. So you can earn very nice commissions for referring others to Healy. And you can even earn a free Healy Resonance Edition if you apply yourself and meet some certain goals. For me personally, I was very excited about this opportunity because my wife and I have 3 kids that have graduated from college, gotten married, and moved out of the state. We were looking for a way to have more mobility. The Healy business has allowed us to earn a very good income from anywhere we want, running a business from my laptop. So if the idea of spreading the word about Healy and earning a great income for doing it, if that interests you, please ask about becoming a Healy World member and what that entails, and we will start training you right away on how to be successful with Healy. And I know that I had at least one person, Donita Frederick, had said that she would do a testimonial. So let me find her. And Donita, if you can unmute yourself here and tell your testimonial.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi there.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess when you want to go back to my testimony, it started back in 2018 when my husband had been outside working and basically didn't feel quite right, and he'd had prior a heart attack, and so I knew that something was wrong, and he basically, they called it ventricular tachycardia, and he just laid down and died, and I had to do CPR on him. And in the process of that happening, for almost a whole year, I suffered anxiety that I've never had in my entire life, and also PTSD, which they explained to me after I'd finally checked into a facility to try to get some help. And the help that they give me was medication, and I had very bad side effects from the medication, and it seemed to make the problems just numb me out, and I knew that I just could not go on with life that way. And so at that point, I kind of turned to CBD oil, and I thought, well, maybe that was helping, but it seemed like I just had to do more and more and more of the CBD oil. And I think I had just gotten out of probably 3 weeks out of the facility when David called me, and he was aware of that, and he had put Dr. Corrine Allen on the phone, and I thought, well, anything they have to say, so far I've had very good luck with, and I have to say, probably once I received my Healy, I would say at least 3 to 4 days of doing the mental balance and a few other programs, I subsided with no more anxiety. And it took a little bit on the PTSD, but honestly, it's give me my life back. And I have lots of other testimonies, but that's my best one.
All right.
That's what I wanted to share.
I do want to make it clear, though. You said you performed CPR on your husband; he had died, but you did revive him. Right?
I did revive him.
I don't want people to think that he had died.
Okay. No. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Yeah. No, he did. No, he did make it, but that's where I got the PTSD from.
Yeah,
So,
I'm having to deal with that. I understand. Okay, we have a
yeah.
couple names now. Dr. Allen, did you have someone in particular you wanted me to call on, or I got a couple hands?
No, go ahead. Somebody,
so
there's lots of people out there.
Terry, let's go ahead, Terry. And what would you like to add here?
Yeah, I have just started attending these meetings. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. This is my third one, so I guess it was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. And a friend of mine, Jana Vogel, has been using her. She's the top of the line one, and she's been doing me remotely.
Mhm.
I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 32 years ago,
Wow.
and one of the main things that I have difficulty with is the stiffness and muscles pain in my muscles and back and knees, and since Jana started treating me from a distance, I think she's in Florida or something, she's not where I am, and I've gone from about, I would get up in the morning and I'd have to stretch for about an hour before I could even walk, and now since she's been doing that for me, my pain's down to about a 1 or 2.
Wow.
It was 8 or 9 every morning, and I can get up and go out and walk every morning. And so I'm planning on doing purchasing one this month of February, because it's quite a great deal.
All right.
I'm just thrilled.
That's awesome. That's a great testimony. How about Roger? You should be able to unmute.
Hello.
Hi.
I've been using the Healy for about 3 to 4 weeks. And I'd say I'm not having any big health issues or anything like that. But after about 3 days of use, I had this incredible sense of ease in going through my day. Inertia has been like a big issue with me for all my adult life, I would say. And everything was like, oh, I got to get up and do this now. Now my day is seamless. I go from one thing to another, and it's just a breeze. And if I could have paid somebody 40 years ago to do that for me, I would have paid a lot of money, because it certainly makes my life easy. So it's good for more than just serious physical ailments. It's changing my life. It's made my life much easier. And as a testimonial goes, on the physical level, I do super slow, which is a high intensity strength training workout. And I've been doing it for 20 years. And it's very clinical, and the trainer's with you. He has a stopwatch. I've had the same trainer for 20 years. They watch your weight. They increase your weight as necessary. They watch your form. It's very regimented. Well, today I went again, and 3 weeks in a row, I had personal best on all stations of my weight training.
Wow.
Which is just remarkable. It's pretty much, from their point of view, it's considered physiologically impossible to have that much strength gain in such a short period of time. Usually it takes weeks before you like get weight increases on certain stations. And I got weight increases 3 weeks in a row. So my trainer, who's very skeptical about anything that's alternative, he said that Healy really works. And the other thing that was remarkable, coming out of there, when you have like an exceptional session, you usually suffer from some muscle discomfort. And I had zero muscle discomfort. And I walked out of there like, usually you have to sit down in a waiting room and kind of recover a little bit before you walk to your car, because you're kind of shaking because it's so intense. I just got up and walked to my car like nothing happened. It was pretty amazing. And one other thing, an interesting experience I had, was doing the learning program. I just had, I asked the residents which program was best for me. And it was learning SYS. I don't know what that exactly means.
Systemic.
Systemic. Yeah. Okay. I kind of thought that's what it would be. So I ran that program, and then I fell asleep, which I usually fall asleep when I run these programs at night. And I usually time it so I'll just get up and go to bed afterwards. Well, I got up, went to bed, and not to discourage people with insomnia, I was awake for at least 2 hours and I was tired. And after that learning program, I was processing information. It was almost like a science fiction movie. I felt like I was just processing and integrating information that had been accumulating over the last few weeks and having insights. And that was kind of a remarkable experience as well. So on a personal level, those are my most interesting experiences. And of
All
course,
right.
I've been sharing it with friends and family and having much good feedback.
Wonderful. Thank you. Those are great testimonials. And then Eli said he'd like to share. Go ahead, Eli.
Hi, everyone. I have been working on a young girl. I do negative program removal, and her grandmother has been a client over the last couple of years, and I've worked on different members of the family. But this little girl, she was the youngest out of three, and all of a sudden, she started to develop an eating disorder around the holidays. And then she had an episode where she took pills and she tried to take her life. But she called up 911 and they rushed on over and they took her to a mental health facility. And then they put her on feeding tubes. And so the grandmother was really in tears over this because she thought that this girl was really going to check out. And in the meantime, I had gotten the Healy, and I said, well, I'm going to run the Healy on your granddaughter. And at first, I did it for like a week or so, and then I damaged my Healy. And it took me about 2.5 weeks to get it back again. And then for about another 2.5 weeks, I've been running the programs on her, like every day, a couple, and mostly having to do with mental health balance and, bringing in more energy into her nervous system. And so a few days ago, the grandmother wrote me and she said, kiss the Healy for me because she's coming home. She started eating. They took her off the feeding tubes, and her father was the only one in all of this period of time, and it was about 6-7 weeks, who could come see her face to face. And so she was opening up to him more, and it was a slow turning around, but now she's home and having to deal with the polarities in her family that caused this. And when she was in this facility, they diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder. And this is what her mother has. So, but we got her over the big hump of getting her out of this facility and the crisis that she was going through. So I'm very happy for this, and I'm very grateful too. So thank you all, because I know you're doing the work here and we're helping each other learn about this. And this is fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much. We have another hand here. Cake, I guess. If you could unmute yourself. And then if anyone also has a question, if you have someone new here that has a question they'd like to ask, either me or Dr. Allen, feel free to find the little hand raise function on there and we'll be able to unmute you.
I'm not sure if Cake is me, or is it C.A. Cadello?
Yes, C.A.
Okay. Okay, that's funny. So my testimony is personal. It's I was diagnosed with Graves' disease back in 2015, and I'm not sure if everyone knows what Graves' disease is, but it's it's my eye, and it's usually two eyes that protrude out like a frog's eye, and which is very, very unbecoming. And the diagnosis and the cure was for them to drill 4 holes, pull my eye out, and drill 4 holes into the back of the eye socket, and hope that my eye would go back into the socket. No guarantees. And so because I'm more of a natural health person, I told my doctor that no, I was not going to do that. And he was very upset with me. And needless to say, I haven't seen him in a year and a half. And Rochelle Dietz introduced me to the Healy program back in September of 2020. And I can tell you that she put the eye program on to me when we were up at Birch Bay, Washington, and my eye, instead of protruding out, I'm sorry, actually went back into my socket. And my girls, my children will tell you that my eye is actually normal. And it's all thanks to Healy.
That is amazing. Dr. Allen, I think Rochelle wanted to share, right? I don't see her hand up, but I don't know.
She may have a time. Can you hear me?
Yes.
She may have a.
Ask her to unmute. We'll see if she unmutes. But if anyone else has a question or something, please put up your hand. And if you can't figure out how to put up the hand and the thing, maybe just wave your arms and we'll look through and see if we have anybody. So Rochelle, did you unmute? No, it doesn't look like she did.
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, Rochelle, yes.
Hi.
Good, hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Allen and Michael and David. We really appreciate everything you do for us. I got my Healy about 5 months ago, and Carol Cadallo, I mean, why wouldn't you want one of these when you could help someone? That brings tears to your eyes, right? It's about helping other people. When I bought mine, I didn't tell anyone except for, the people who shared it with me. I wanted to do my research, learn how to set it up and scan. So, I have family around the world, and I have great friends and family in Bellingham, Washington, and they've given me permission to share. So I have several testimonies, global testimonies. So the first one, Jamie in Bellingham, she was my first guinea pig, and she's been in pain. I talked to her today. She's been in pain for years. And last summer, she got socked in the back, and her pain was even worse. So when I finally got my Healy and learned how to scan it in and use it, I told her about it. She said, yeah. So I tried it on her back, put the electrodes on her back. She sat in a comfy chair, and she said within 2 minutes, she said, you wouldn't believe how I feel. I said, what, Jamie? She said, I have no pain. And she started going like this with her hands. I said, what are you doing? And she said, I've had, she couldn't open up her hands, really bad arthritis for about 5-6 days. She never could stoop down. And so I did the 20-minute pain program on her, checked on her that night, and she said, I'm in so much pain. And this is what I said. I said, you overdid, didn't you, Jamie? She said, yes. She stooped down, cleaned her house, scrubbed her floors, mopped, did laundry. So I said, come back tomorrow. The next day, 20-minute pain program. Within 2 minutes, no pain, and she was opening up her hands. And the third day, she said, this is the first day in years that she woke up without any pain. So when that happened, within 2 minutes, I had tears in my eyes because I knew this was something, that I needed to share with a lot of people, my family and friends. I'm here out of the country. I have my good friend, Carolyn. I don't know if you can see her. This is Carolyn.
Hello.
And so I used the Healy on her for the first time last week, and she said she slept better than ever. And better than ever. She woke up refreshed and even has more energy. And I have another friend a few days ago, I'm learning how to do the remote program. So Patty in Colorado is probably on this phone call. I did an analysis on her remotely, and the number one thing that resonated with her was skin. So she's trying to think of all these skin situations that she could possibly have. And then she called me excited yesterday. She had opened up a stack of mail, and there was a letter from the Skin Institute saying, you need to come in for a diagnosis for skin cancer, is what they detected. So sometimes you don't know, you say it's intention when you're working remotely with someone, but I want you to know that the people I've been using this remote program on, analyzing and running programs, they know it. So that was Patty in Colorado. And my other friend Sheila here in Mexico, I used the Healy on her, the analysis, and what showed up mainly was circulation and lungs, but she's had knee problems for years and she couldn't walk straight. She wobbled and she shuffled, and she's been waiting for years to get knee replacement surgery. So the third day, she just gets up and starts walking without shuffling, without having to hang on to things. And so that was exciting. And even to this day, 3 weeks later, she's walking great. And she said her breathing is better. She used to breathe and you could hear her breathing. She had respiratory problems. She doesn't have that anymore. She's sleeping throughout the night. And she said today, please tell everyone too, that she has clarity of mind. She has several businesses and she's able to compute things and get things done. But her eye situation, the first few times I ran the Healy on her, she said, there's rocks in my eyes. It feels like there's rocks underneath my eyes. I said, I've never heard of that, Sheila, but it didn't hurt her. She just felt rocks. So for several days. And we both had our eye exams here, 3 weeks ago. And when she went for her eye exam, she said that she needed to get less power lenses because her eyes were improving and she had really bad cataracts. And she asked the doctor, so what about my cataracts? And the doctor said just 3 weeks ago, you don't have any cataracts. So her eyes have improved. So she wanted me to share that as well.
Yeah.
But when I found out about this 5 months ago, my good friends Dave and Deborah from Vancouver, they were telling me about it and about frequencies and voltage. And I said, well, that makes sense, because I know frequency and voltage is healing. And you raise the voltage and frequency in your body, there's better health, there's better mental attitude. And I was asking, will this help Jim's back or Dad's memory? And she said, Rochelle, I was thinking of you. And she said, because of your PTSD. And I didn't tell anyone, but I've been, several years of traumatic situations and healing from that. And what I remember Dr. Allen telling me about 7-8 years ago is even though you may have healed from a situation, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Allen, if you want to elaborate on this, she said your body still has a memory. It's still stored in your DNA. So I remember having a session with Dr. Allen about 7 or 8 years ago. So this frequency made sense that it could maybe unblock things and change the frequency of your DNA so it's not stored there anymore. And so when I started running this Healy after 3-4 days, someone said, what did it do for you, Rochelle? And I said, oh, I don't know. I haven't used it on myself yet. So I did. And within 1 or 2 days, you're supposed to put your mask on first. Within 1 or 2 days, the 24/7 panic attacks that I've had for months and months, and even for several years, were gone. And I have not had, a panic attack since then. And it's been incredible what it's done.
Wow.
But if you're looking, so thank you for everything that you're doing and teaching us, and we're changing so many lives around the world. And so for me, what made sense when Dave and Deborah shared this with me, first of all, if anything, it's another great tool for our own health and wholeness. The ability to change lives, and really have an impact for the better for humanity. And with all the news feeds out there, I'm continually hearing about increase your frequency, increase your vibration, and hearing the word resonate, to what do you resonate the most? And so this is state of the art. It's, we're right on that cutting edge. So if you're sitting on the fence and, let me just ask you, what do you have to use? And I heard this quote once, if you're a seeker of truth, you will find it and you will know it in your heart. I knew exactly at the moment Dave and Deborah told me this, I knew that I needed to have this. And so it's been an incredible tool. So thank you everyone for letting me share tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Looks like that's all of
Okay.
the questions. And wow, we still have 145 people here. This is amazing.
Thank you, everybody. Be sure and talk to the person that invited you. We've got phone numbers and websites and emails on the chat. So if you need to get a hold of somebody, let us know.